But this just felt like the outer layer of the plane was like, it was in distress. Hi guys, so real quick, let's talk about Spirit Airlines. Okay, for all you guys that are new to the channel, I'd like to say welcome. Thank you for tuning in. To my regulars, thank you for watching. Yeah, so anyway, let's get right into the video. So I wanted to share with you guys because I saw so many reviews on Spirit Airlines prior to my taking my flight. I am definitely a Googler, YouTuber when it comes to trying to find out information about maybe a trip that I want to take or a city I'm interested in visiting, that type of thing. I definitely watch videos that can give me some information. So I thought I would definitely share my experience on Spirit Airlines. So, okay, so let's get into it. First of all, my husband booked my flight, so I didn't book my flight, so I wasn't really sure as far as the booking process. I can't tell you guys, but if he did it, I'm pretty sure it was simple, just because he's not, you know, savvy on the internet or what have you. So he booked my flight. Like I said, I'm assuming that had to be pretty seamless because he never complained about the actual booking process. So when I arrived to the airport, I had not printed my boarding pass. So I did see a review that said that it's better to print your own boarding pass as opposed to having it printed there, because then you would have to pay additional money or something. So I'm not real sure. So I had the carry-on, which was like a little duffel bag, and then I had my rolling bag suitcase. So that I had to pay for. Even though I took it on the plane with me, I still had to pay for it, and that was like $57, I want to say. So that was the additional fee for me. Now I know the flight was only, it was like $120 or so, I can't remember, but the flight was really cheap. I can't complain about the price of the flight. The additional bag, while it was, you know, a cost, it wasn't to me that bad considering how inexpensive the flight was. So I can't really complain on the fact that you had to pay the extra $50 for the bag. So because I do know that if you condense yourself even smaller, then you can get away with, you know, the one bag, and you can fly that way and not pay any additional fees. So just keep that in mind if you are traveling on Spirit. So when I first got there, it was kind of overwhelming because I was in Orlando airport and I wasn't familiar with it. So it was a little bit overwhelming. You know, you kind of catch your bearings, you got to look around, make sure you get yourself acclimated to where you are. So went over to the Spirit line, but there was like a line of people, and I'm sitting there like, oh my gosh, okay, am I supposed to get in this line or what? Because there were so many people in the line. And so I just went on, got in line, had no idea what I was doing. And so while I was standing there, it's always good to ask if you're not sure. So while I was standing there, it was a young lady in front of me, and she appeared friendly. So I reached out to her, and I was just like, excuse me, can you tell me, am I supposed to be in this line? Is this line waiting to board, or, you know, waiting to get checked in, or what's going on? And she was like, oh, yeah. And then, so I was like, okay, good. So I just kind of stood there. And then the longer I stood there, I kept kind of looking around, and I'm like, people had tags on their bags. So I was like, okay, do I need a tag for my bag even though I'm putting it on the plane with me? And so I asked her, I was like, well, am I supposed to get a tag for my bag? And she was like, oh, yeah. You go print it over at the self-serve, you know, kiosk. And she pointed me to them. So I was like, okay, great, thank you. And she was like, you want me to save your space for you? And I was like, oh, yes, thank you, you know, blah, blah, blah. So I ran over, and that's when I saw the Spirit staff member that was walking around at the self-serve kiosk. And so when I was printing it, I just got like the boarding pass. And so I was like, I asked her, I said, well, am I supposed to be printing a tag for my bag, or what am I supposed to be doing? With, you know, do I need a tag for my bag? And she was like, she was like, are you putting it on the plane with you? And I said, yes, I'm using it as a carry-on. And she said, no, you don't have to print a tag for it then. And I was like, okay. And I was like, so is there anything else that I need to do? You know, do I go back to that line, or what do I do? And she was like, oh no, she said, you have your boarding pass? I said, yes. She said, you're fine. You go ahead through security. And I said, oh really? She's like, yeah, you're done. You going through security. So what they were in line waiting for, just so you know, those people were in line waiting for checked luggage. And there's not a clear, you know, it's not clearly marked. So I wasn't really certain what was going on. And I wasn't sure. I just wasn't sure. And I hadn't flown since before COVID. And so I really think I was just kind of out of the loop. So, that line was for people checking their bags. So fine. So now I leave and I go head down to security. So I go through security. Like I said, I didn't have any issues there. I had to take my laptop and any electronics out. I didn't realize that, so I had to take that out. And yeah, and make sure you don't have a bottle order, because I always have a bottle order with me, and I forgot I had a bottle order. I had to throw it away. So, yeah. So anyway, went on through there. The security part was very easy. You know, you go through, you got to raise your arms, all that good stuff. That's still the same. So you go on through, and once I got to my, once I got to Spirit's area for boarding, I saw there was like a ton of people there. So that kind of made me feel a little bit at ease, because it was like so many people that I'm sitting there like, dang, people do fly Spirit, huh? And I'll tell you another little thing. This was the same weekend that the Q's, Omega Sci-Fi, that they were going to Charlotte, North Carolina, because it was the flight from Orlando to Charlotte. So when I saw that you know, all the Q's that were out there, kind of was like, okay, another little sigh of relief, because it's like, okay, I feel safe now, whatever. So, but anyway, it was like a ton of Q's waiting to fly out of Orlando as well. And so I thought that was pretty cool. But anyway, so I get up to the area, and I go up to the counter, because when I read my boarding pass, it said you have to go up to the attendant and get a actual seat, because I didn't have an assigned seat. I think he had booked the flight on Expedia. So so I went up, no problem. The lady printed the new boarding pass with the seat number on it very quickly, no issues with that. And then when it came time to board the plane, the only thing I did have was that you couldn't hear her. Like, she was trying to talk on the intercom, but you couldn't understand anything she was saying. So that was kind of annoying. But anyway, so we got through that part, and then my camera's getting ready to shut down. Okay, and so when it came down to boarding, that was pretty seamless, normal procedures as any other airline. So boarded fine, no issues. Okay, so like I was saying, so boarded the flight, no issues, standard procedure, I guess, as any other airline. Got on board, and I'll show you, like I said, some clips to kind of show you the inside, what I was able to film. I didn't film much because it was really crowded, so I didn't film much on the plane. And then I wasn't really sure if I was gonna film, actually, but I thought about it, and I was like, yeah, you probably just need to go ahead and share your experience, because there were so many scary things that I saw. People like, I won't say scary. Well, there was a couple of intimidating videos, but then there was also some videos that just pretty much I thought was just kind of maybe too cruel or what have you. I don't know, or maybe Spirit improved. I don't know. But anyway, so boarding the plane, everyone was friendly. You know, they were very polite. It was easy getting to my seat. Everybody that I was flying with was very polite. It was just a nice flight. The atmosphere was very nice, so I did like that. The gentleman I sat next to, I can't remember his name, but he was such a nice guy. Just a shout out in case he ever sees this video, because he was from he's from Boone, but he had just moved to Orlando and was getting ready to relocate his family to Orlando. And so that was kind of neat to talk to him, because we were talking about North Carolina. I think he had lived in Durham. So we just talked about North Carolina, and then talked about the flight, of course, because it was both of our first experience on Spirit. And he said that he wouldn't watch YouTube videos because he didn't want to scare himself. So yeah, so anywho, so I was on a row with 3. I was in the middle seat. He was on the aisle seat, and then we had the seat by the window. And it was so we were sitting there with our fingers crossed the whole time, like we might end up getting, you know, this row by ourselves or whatever. And we did. So I moved to the window seat, and we used the middle seat just to, you know, throw stuff in or whatever. But it was a really cool flight. As far as my traveling buddy, you know, it was cool. We chit-chatted for a long time. But anywho, so the flight, it was clean. I mean, I can't complain. I'm really funny about, you know, things being gross, so it wasn't a nasty plane. It appeared to be pretty clean. They did ask when we got ready to what is it, unboard, or I mean, I know with the cruise is disembark, so what is it? Well, we got ready to get off the plane. They did ask that you know, clean your trash up, make sure you didn't, you know, don't leave anything. Not sure about, you know, how the sanitation works after everyone gets off, but I know that they did ask for people to pick their garbage up, which I think is like common courtesy. I think you shouldn't just leave trash on an airline, bus, whatever you're traveling. I just think it's common courtesy to throw it away anyway. So they did say that they do come around with the trash a couple of times before the flight is over. They do come around, which I had purchased me some coffee and a water before I boarded the flight, and because I did hear that you had to pay for snacks on the plane, and I don't usually carry cash, and I think you could only pay with cash. So they did come around with the refreshments during the flight. And, you know, I think I saw a few people purchase items. I don't think it was a big deal, because if I'm not mistaken, I think the prices are about $3, maybe the biggest cost. I guess unless you're on a longer flight and there's food, maybe, I don't know, but that price may go higher. But as far as the snacks, I think the highest price may have been about $3. But so for me, I don't think that should be that big of a deal. So yeah, so did that. The flight attendants were very nice, polite, didn't have any issues with them. Don't know how the restroom is, because I'm not going into a restroom on a plane unless it's an absolute emergency. So yeah, I don't know how the restrooms were, but I did see people get up and go a few times, so I guess it must have not been that bad. But anywho, so that was that. And then as far as the takeoff and the actual flight, I thought it was nice. I didn't have any complaints. We didn't hit any turbulence, which is a good thing for me, because turbulence probably would have ruined the flight for me. But so we didn't go through any turbulence or anything. The takeoff was smooth. The flight itself was very smooth. But this just felt like the outer layer of the plane was like, it was in distress. Nice photos. I did that mainly for TikTok and Instagram, but I'll insert those as well. We got some nice film from the flight. That was nice. Now, the only thing was the landing, which I don't blame Spirit for the landing, because that could have happened with any airline. And my husband has said that it happened with him on Delta before. And Delta is typically the airline that I fly. So when we got ready to land, okay. When we hit the ground, it felt like the skin of the plane was going to just rip off. Like, if you ever seen like one of those comedy shows where something's going real fast and it sheds the outer layer or whatever, it felt like that was getting ready to happen. Woo, your girl was scared then. I mean, I wasn't scared, but I was a little uncomfortable, and so was my neighbor, because he was like, we both like looked at each other, and he was like, never experienced that before. I said, me either. So it was like really weird, but it just felt like it was so much force, and very well, you know, could have came from the landing process. You know, I'm not gonna say that couldn't have been what happened, that maybe that it just wasn't the best landing process. I don't know, but in all fairness, because, you know, people say that it's happened to them on other flights, I can't really blame Spirit for that. But I mean, I've had some flights where I've landed and it's been like, whew, you know, like breathtaking as far as the force of how fast you know, hit the runway. So I've had that happen, but this just felt like the outer layer of the plane was like, it was in distress. I mean, it's funny now, but I mean, that was kind of weird. I never experienced it. It was kind of weird, but it is what it is. We made it, I thank God. And like I said, that was it. I mean, the flight was fine for me. I didn't have any negatives. I can see people complaining about the baggage situation, but I mean, I don't think that you really have it any different on any of the other airlines. Honestly, it's probably more expensive because you're paying more for the flight, and plus if you have to check luggage, I'm thinking that there's an extra charge checking luggage on any flight. I usually don't check luggage. I usually just have my carry-on, but I can't say that I would see that it being much different anywhere else. So I think Spirit kind of got a bad run on that part. But yeah, so that was my experience, and I don't think I had a bad experience at all. I think it was pretty typical of any other airline, just that it's a smaller plane or what have you. So yeah, so that was my experience. Just thought I'd throw that out there because I didn't think that it was fair to just say that the airline sucks, because I don't think it sucks. I think for a budget friendly flight, it did what it needed to do. It got me, you know, home safely, and I can't complain about that. But anywho, that was my experience. Yeah, so leave down in the comments. Let me know whether or not you guys have flown Spirit before, what your experiences was. Yeah, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Please be sure to subscribe if you're interested in subscribing to my channel. I do a variety of things here, talk about different things. This is not like this is not just a niche channel where there's just this one thing that I do. No, I'm not gonna even promise you guys that. But yeah, I just share with you guys my life experiences, that type of thing. So yeah, join the family if you like, and also hit the notification bell if you be interested in knowing when I upload videos. So with that all being said, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys. Bye.